Jeez.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Knit Chat Cafe. My name's Noelle, and this is my friend,
Kelly.
We're coming to you from southwestern Ontario, Canada, on an unseasonably warm day, may I say. I don't want this 20-degree weather anymore.
I'm not minding it. This is not bad at all.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
The windows are open. This feels great.
I'm ready for it to be true sweater weather. But anyway.
Okay. Well, I'm heading away next week and it'll be 30 degrees every day. So.
Well, I'm just ready. You know what? I've decided I would like it if it only snowed like from now till Christmas. And then after that, it could be gone. But from now till Christmas would be good. So, but anyway, welcome everybody. We're glad you're all here. This is our Tuesday evening kind of get together with friends and just to have like a little chat on Tuesday evenings. And speaking of that, before we go any further, we should probably mention that for the next 3 weeks.
Okay. For
the next 3 weeks, we will not be here on Tuesday evenings. For the next 3 weeks, we will be here on Sunday evening.
Right.
Because
so actually for the remainder of November,
okay.
I looked at the calendar today.
Is that what it is? The remainder of November?
The remainder of November being the 10th, the 17th, and the 24th, we will be here on Sunday. And then resuming our Tuesday chats in December, starting on December 3rd.
Okay.
Reason being, carry on.
The reason being, Kelly is away. Well, she's going to location next Tuesday, and there's not any guarantee that she would get there in time to be set up and ready to go. So we will do it this Sunday instead. So it's only going to be 5 days. So we're going to have to knit fast to have stuff to show.
That's okay. I will have my usual, maybe a project finished and only a couple of things started. I do have to pack this week too. So
it's 30-degree weather. What do you need? A bathing suit and a sundress.
I have to pick the knitting projects, Noelle. That's the tricky part. Yes.
Anyway, and so for the second week, why did we say the second week? I think it was just to keep it consistent, or you were getting ready to leave or something. Anyway,
the second week, I'm also traveling on that day.
Okay. And then the
third week,
I actually have surgery on the Monday on my other foot. So that's why we're going to do it the Sunday night before I go in. And then that'll be a week that I should be ready for.
We didn't want to expose you all to Loopy Noelle after a surgery. So
yeah, because it will be for the first few days.
We're giving her a few days of grace to get back on one foot, not on 2 feet, to get back on one foot before we come to you the following week. So, there we go. So yes,
that was
for the remainder of November, we will be here on Sunday. And the reason that we are sort of preempting it ahead of the Tuesday is so that you don't have to change your schedules. We're going to be here on Sunday, but that means on Tuesday, if you tune in at the normal time, there will be an episode there for you to watch. We won't be live, but that's okay. You'll get a little break from us, from the chaos.
Okay.
And but you will have something to watch.
Isabel wants Sleeping Noelle. You would not want that, Isabel. Really, truly, honestly, you would not want that.
No, no. But also we've had, so we are in the Eastern time zone. Yes. Eastern Standard Time. So we've also had a time change. So there could be some people that are finding that we've come to you at a different time, because not everybody observes daylight savings time. And our country does. So we are here at 7 o'clock, and we will be here on those Sundays, also at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
So
I know that time change just kind of throws you for a loop. Like I'm thinking, an extra hour of knitting. But now, like I was waking early enough as it was. Now it's just like.
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to bed an hour earlier now because I'm tired at that time. So for me, maybe it's been a good thing. But anyway, okay. So before all of that, it's really good to see everybody in here tonight that's here. I realize that we have a little bit of competition tonight because there's this little thing happening in the United States called the election. And so people may be either at the polls voting, our American friends may be at the polls voting, or they may be tuned to their televisions waiting for results to come in. But the results some of the polls don't start closing until like now, 7 o'clock. So we are happy.
We'll be done and out of here before you have to get back to your TVs.
That's right. So we just advise that you should all take a break from politics and just hang out with us for the next hour and a little bit and do some knitting. And we are extremely happy that you are all here with us tonight.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
For those of you that tune after week, we appreciate you so much. And we are also welcoming anybody that is new here tonight. And I think we've gotten off to a bit of a chaotic start, and that's not always unusual for us.
No, it's not, but it was chaotic. So, technology, it's good when it's good.
It's good when it's good. Yes. So all right.
But we're here.
We're here. We are. We're here. I'm here for a few days longer too.
Mm-hmm. And we forgot to say, we are a mostly knitting podcast. So if you're checking out knitting, this is the place to be. So
yes. Oh, and the first person in here today was our friend Amy. Thank you, Amy, for getting the show rolling for us today. I was a little late opening the stream today. It was not until I think 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so we didn't have our usual 7 o'clock in the morning friends in here. But that's great, and we are just happy for all of you that are here.
So. Yeah. So we hope that you all had a good week. And I just want to say, I know that last week we had the comments underneath and we were going to pick a winner. This is where the technology parts comes in. So I went to do it just before the podcast and had trouble with the comment picker that I normally use. So I went in and tried a bunch of other ones and it said invalid URL. So we are going to, and actually it won't even be a whole week. So we will draw that before next Sunday, because Sunday we're going to be here live again on Sunday. So we will draw that then.
And I'll show. I have, because I had it here ready to announce. So this was a beautiful prize in this gorgeous bag that was gifted to us to give away. Karen, was it Karen?
Yes, Karen from Itty Bitty Yarn Co.
Itty Bitty Yarn Co.
in Mitchell, Ontario.
Yes, and this is what she gifted. This is
so beautiful.
So it is it's a classic sock set, and this is eggplant and limeade, and
it's her store color.
It's the store color. I was going to say I don't see a name on here. Oh, it's called Itty Bitty Yarn Co. Yeah, I'm looking at the label and I just wasn't quite comprehending what I was reading. But anyway, and it also has this beautiful little one of those cute little acrylic stitch markers as well. Yeah. And this is a really beautiful set. I may have to drive to Mitchell and get a set of this myself. This is so pretty. So pretty. So this is what we had to give away. And as Noelle explained,
and we will, and Sunday for sure. Sunday for sure. That winner.
Here's the issue. Noelle said that when she tried to use the comment picker, it said that we had exceeded the number of comments. So we're just going to have to find a bigger comment picker, friends.
We are.
So we can't have that. We appreciate each and every comment. And what you had to do to win this lovely prize, so it's still open now until Sunday, is you'll have to go back into last week's video. Sorry, not under the video tonight. You have to go back to last week's Halloween video. And underneath, what we were asking you to do was to let us know your favorite kind of Halloween candy. And on that topic, before we move away, we had talked about different kinds of Halloween candy. And I had said that one of the things that my husband really likes for Halloween candy, because I'm the Reese's peanut butter cup, and my husband really likes rockets. And there were quite a few viewers that didn't know what a rocket was. So I saved one from his little mitts that he tried to get his hand on this week. And this is what rockets look like in Canada. So it's these little wrapped candies, and these are like his favorite thing. And they come in massive bags of candies. And I'll just show you a few in my hand, what they look like when they're out of the package. So they're just like these little, I don't know, the kids used to say they were pills, but they're like,
that's what I say. They look like little pills.
Yeah. They're like, a pressed powdered candy, and they are super good. Really delicious. I think they taste different. I think they're softer.
Well, they might.
Maybe these ones are just really fresh. So we have people chiming in now that in the States, in the United States, they are called Smarties.
Smarties.
But in our country, Smarties, and sorry, I don't have any of those left because he has absconded with every last Smartie.
I have a couple of packages of Smarties left.
No. But the Smarties in our country are actually little bites of chocolate with a colored candy coating.
They're like M&Ms.
Like M&Ms, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes. But anyway, so I'm just going to sit here and enjoy these rockets.
Okay. So we hope that you all had a good Halloween. I've got some pictures here to show you. I had some little visitors come to my door and I actually did dress up for Halloween. So, but it's not an out there costume, but I did have kids that came to the door that knew who I was. So that's always good. Okay. So let's see here. Okay.
Maybe.
Yep. This is Molly and Isla. So Isla was Chase from Paw Patrol and Molly was Moana.
Very cute.
And then this is me with Declan, and Declan was a spider, and you can kind of get a glimpse of my costume. Maybe you can figure out what it is.
I think I can.
And then this is my daughter-in-law, Suzanne, and she's holding Mackenzie, and I'm holding Penelope, and they're dressed like little unicorns. And then Zoe was dressed as Vampirina.
Oh, very cute.
So, and they all had a very good Halloween, and it was so nice to see the little ones dressed up. And yeah, yes, I see some right answers here.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yes, I was. And my son goes, I was dressed like that, and he says, "Oh, I thought you just wanted to dress like that." So I should have just dyed my hair black for it.
You could have made a yarn wig.
I could have, but my hair was the perfect length to do the braids.
Yeah.
So
I actually have pictures of Kendall and Derek and Miles too, but I forgot to load them up here. So I will show those on Sunday as well. I will remind myself to do that. I remembered the rockets, friends. Okay. I thought I was doing good, but all right.
Okay. So, I guess we'll go through some questions first. Again, there seem to be, everybody's been getting on this flexi flip kick. There's been still lots of questions about flexi flips.
Yes. Are you still liking them? I'm still liking mine.
I am.
Yeah,
I am.
Too.
But I did have one person comment, and it was one thing that I've noticed too. When you're doing a heel flap and gusset, when you're kind of going across and you're doing that heel flip, the first couple of rows are a little bit awkward because that needle the front needle sort of in your way. But I find once you get past the first couple of rows, it's okay. Mm-hmm. And then someone else asked, what do you do once you've picked up all the gusset stitches? So you've got you've got your heel stitches, and then you've got your gusset stitches that you've picked up on each side, and kind of how do you divide those up on the needle? What I do, and there's no right or wrong way. I leave all my heel and all the gusset stitches on one needle, and I just keep that forward needle with the instep stitches. Yep. But you could divide the heel in half and have.
You could,
but
you definitely could.
But then you'd have to have half of your heel flap, or not your heel flap, your instep.
Yes.
Right. So I think it would be usually, and oftentimes your instep might have a pattern on it too. And I just find if there's a pattern on it, it's a lot easier to have all those stitches all on one needle.
Same. I do think that there are actually some patterns though that have you divide those stitches.
I know.
Or especially if you're working on the old method of 3 needles. So then this would have been, I just happen to have a sock here on Flexi Flip, so I'll show you. So this would have been split like here, right?
Yeah.
And you would have done half of these stitches on one needle, and this would have been on another, and then your instep would have been on all across here on the 3rd needle. I do like to keep everything on the one needle, and this was a 72 stitch sock, and I still find it to be okay. I didn't have an issue with losing stitches. No, and it does feel like a lot of stitches, but I'm also used to that because of the fact that I use the 9-inch circulars so much, I think, and I end up having all of my stitches on a 9-inch circular because I do not go off that 9-inch circular to do the heel. Yeah. So
I just find
I think I'm
too,
just used to it.
if they're divided like that, then the needle that's got the heel stitches plus the gusset stitches, then your increase or your decreases as you go down is at the beginning and the end of that needle.
Yes.
Whereas
And I
if
find
you've
that
got it on
easier to
two
memorize.
needles, yes, if you've got it on two needles and you're not at the beginning or the end, you're in the middle.
Yeah.
It makes it a little bit harder to kind of keep track of where you are. So,
yeah.
Okay. And the same person that was talking about the flexi flips wanted to know, she's going to knit her first pair of socks and what would be the best method to use to knit your first pair of socks. I've knit so many socks on so many different things. To go back and say, as a beginner, I don't know. What do people here that have maybe just started? What's been your experience with the easiest to start with? I mean, we started on 4 needles, right?
We did.
So,
yes, I still remember that. And then I moved down from the 4 needles to like the shorter length needles. And I remember how much that irritated me because it seemed like the one end of the stick was always tapping the inside of my hand. It didn't hurt, but it's just like it's a pressure I didn't like. So then I moved on to Magic Loop. And from there I went to the 2 16 inches.
Yep.
And those ended up being, that was probably my favorite method for a number of years until I got onto the 9-inch circular. And now I'm onto these flexi flips to do a few pairs of socks. I don't see myself ever going back to the 4 needles. I will just say that. You've heard it here. But any of the other methods, I rotate around. I just like to change things up. So
yeah. And I would say like my favorite is 2 16s, but that might, but when I actually started doing with 2 16s, I was actually doing it wrong because I was knitting the stitches all onto one needle and then knitting half off. And
okay.
So I was doing it wrong. So, I don't know. I guess if you've done, like, if this is your first pair of socks, if you've done sweaters before, how do you like to do your sleeves? That might be a good indication of, because you're basically doing some small circumference there. So.
Oh, Victoria says that she did her first pair were 2 at a time on Magic Loop. I did that too for a period of time, doing them 2 at a time. And then I just realized, I don't like that either. So, because it just seemed like a lot of things to contend with the 2 balls of yarn. And I like the transportability of a single sock on a small needle. That's mostly why I work on the smaller needles, because then I can either, like if I'm going someplace that's not really knitty, I can just totally tuck that in my bag and just have it right there to pull out one skein of yarn and work on that. So I think I like that transportability of smaller needles. But I would suggest maybe, I'm trying to think what might be the easiest method. And I almost want to say it would be the 2 16 inches. I feel like that would be the easiest because Magic Loop was a concept in and of itself. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Like I said, we learned on like, and it wasn't even like now you get a set of double points and there's 5 in the set. When we did it, there was 4 in the set. And you had your stitches on 3 needles and knit with the other one. And that took a little bit of getting used to, but once you got used to it, but I was always losing needles because you'd always have that loose needle. So, and speaking of that, when we talked about the flexi flips, you have 3, and we had a viewer that wrote and said that what she does with the flexi flips is before she's going to put it down, she knits half of one of the needles onto the other needle so that when you put them down, you've got stitches on all the needles.
Anchoring it, smart.
So you don't have a loose needle that is in your bag that's easy to lose.
That's a great idea.
I thought that was a good idea. So
and now that you say that, I don't even know where my 3rd needle is in these. See? I just don't know. I usually stick it through the shaft of the sock and it's not. Well, hopefully it's not far.
See, there you go, Kelly. You need to knit half of those stitches onto that needle so that all three needles have stitches, yarn on them, harder to lose one. So Okay. Another comment that we had was about doing.
Don't leave I was going to say, let's not leave this because I had a question since I have this sock here.
Flips? Okay.
Well, it's not necessarily a flexi flip, but it was talking about the heel flap and gusset. And when I was talking about how I altered the stitches and then picking up those little bumps along the side, a viewer commented that about the picking up, they felt it left too big of a ridge inside the sock. So I was going to show you what is inside the sock, and look at me flipping it this way.
The right way.
The right way. Gosh, how many years old did I have to be to learn this little technique? But anyway, thank you to Jasmine who showed us this. But anyway, okay, I will show you my pickup row. I don't find that I feel this inside of a sock. It is a little ridge. I agree. There is a bit of a ridge, but I'm trying to, like, if I show it from this angle, like, it lays pretty flat. It's no more of a ridge. In fact, it's probably less of a ridge than this 3x1 pearl, knit pearl that I have as a pattern. So I don't find that I feel it at all. And all that I do when I'm picking up that flap, I pick up the very end of that little nub where you've created the garter bumps down along that row. So I don't find that it's much of an edge at all. Now, I have come across, and then I saw it myself, and then somebody also sent it to me on Instagram this week. Laura Nelkin has a method where she is, and you can go onto her Instagram channel and find this link, but she is wrapping it around a like a cord saver. She's wrapping it around so it ends up all twisted into those stitches right there, so that all you have to do, there's no picking up. You just have to slide your needle in there and slide those stitches right onto your needle, because she's got them wrapped around her cord saver. And that was pretty clever too. But as I said, I don't mind it. And I don't find that that is a very big ridge. I do keep it right to the edge. So you get a pretty fine
There's
edge.
The difference, because this one is done just on slip stitches.
Okay.
So it's all a matter of how, like, I've done them like that too, and I can wear them fine. This is for one of the kids, and because there wasn't as many stitches on the heel flap is why I didn't do the 3-row garter stitch. But so it is less, but it all depends on how sensitive your feet are.
Yeah, exactly. So okay. All right. That's what I had about that.
Okay. We had a question about this was from Stacy about saying that she could alter a sweater for a round yoke or for a raglan, but what if it was a drop shoulder? Okay. So then, I think with a drop shoulder, it's almost like you have to decide. You really have to decide how much ease you want, because that ease is going to be built in right from the very beginning or the top of the sweater. And this is a drop shoulder that I've got on right here, right? So it depends on how far this comes out past your shoulder, determines where your sleeve is going to go. And in this case, it's just a short sleeve. But if you're doing a long sleeve, wherever that sleeve starts, obviously depends how long you're going to go for your total sleeve length. So I know when I'm doing it, I do my drop shoulder. And usually I'm picking up stitches and going down, so I can actually try it on as I go to see where the sleeve length is. But I think you really have to figure out how wide you want this. And from that, you need to try it on after you've got that body done, figure out where that drop comes on your shoulder. And that's going to indicate how long the length of your sleeve is going to be.
And there's a lot of variations in there depending on the fabric of the yarn that you're using, because that is really going to affect the drape. Obviously, something that is a denser or a heavier yarn is going to create like more of a, there won't be like like this is very soft and drapey, for instance. But if you were using a heavier yarn, then a lot less drape. Like, look at this, right? There's like no drape. So think about, you have to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah, you also have to take into consideration, like if you remember back when everybody was knitting Hohi's boxy sweater, that was really wide. And then it almost came down to your elbow. Well, then it depends how many stitches, how wide do you want your sleeve, right? In that case, in the boxy, the sleeve was very narrow, and some people found it was actually too narrow. And a lot of the reason was because they were maybe not putting quite as much ease in it, but still picking up the same number of stitches. But if your sleeve starts up here or starts down here, the width that you want around that sleeve is going to be a different number. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration when it's not just the width around here. You really have to figure out where your sleeve's going to start. Is the sleeve a fitted sleeve? How loose do you want it? So it is a little bit of a difference. So,
yeah. Okay. I see here a comment. So Nettie is saying, I would have, going back to the sock, I would have less of a ridge if I picked up just one loop instead of both. So here's the thing. In this situation, yes, if you had like a standard heel flap that has always started with a knit row and then come back on a purl row, then it does. It creates like a row of 2 loops that you have to pick up. But in this case, I actually added in 3 stitches of garter. So I'm starting every row with a knit stitch. So think about garter, what it looks like on a side edge. There aren't those pleasing little loops that you would get like from slipping a stitch the first one. What I actually had were just like the little garter nubs on every row. So I'm picking up from those garter nubs. So yes, that is something to consider. Maybe you want less of a ridge. So yes, if you slipped every other row on your heel flap, you would get a nice little edge to slip to pick up only one loop if you wanted to. Something else that you can do in that case, when you're picking up only one stitch and you put that on your needles, in your first row, what you might want to do is knit into the back of the stitch. And what that does is it twists the stitch. So if you don't want, because I've heard too, like some people will say that they get, if they're picking up from a knit row, that they get kind of like a gap in here where they've picked up. If you knit that first row into the back of those stitches, it will twist that stitch and tighten everything up nicely for you as well. So.
Okay. Another question was about,
we could do a whole night on socks. You know that, right?
We could do more than a whole night on socks. And everybody, and the thing is,
and we still wouldn't have answered everything.
Well, everybody's preference is different.
Absolutely.
Like, so that's why there is like different heel choices, different, top down, toe up. Like there's lots of different choices. You have to find what works for you and what you like best. Yeah. So
Marilyn is reporting that she's tried it with the cord saver and she said that works really well. So I haven't tried that yet, Marilyn, but I think it is something that I will try because I like to try different methods. Doesn't mean that it's going to be the method I move forward with, but I like to have a few tools in my arsenal. So I will for sure give that a try.
Okay. And Alice says that Roxanne Richardson has a video for an alternate way to pick up stitches so that the sock has less of a ridge. So you might want to check that out.
Okay.
So, okay. And then I had a question about how to post your finishes in Ravelry. We will do another tutorial on that. Now, if you go in, you can't just go into our group. You have to actually go into the thread that is actually like the finished objects for that particular thing. But again, we'll look at that and we'll do a little tutorial again and then mark it.
Yes.
But it's too complicated to go into. I think it's complicated to tell you how to do it without having the visual up there to show you where you go.
Yes. Yes. Much easier when we can pull up the screen.
So we'll work on that. And then I did have, Joy had asked me, she's looking if she can find any help from anybody. She said she's finishing up a Letho sweater and she had gotten yarn that was a merino cashmere silk undyed. And she needs about 50 grams and to finish her sweater. Now, if it's a Letho, I think that's a worsted weight yarn.
Yes.
So she said it's a 2-ply lightly twisted. So if anybody has any idea where you might be able to get that blend in a 2-ply bare yarn undyed with that composition merino cashmere silk, if you could just pop it in or send me a notice and I'll pass the information along to her. So, and then there was another question about knitting machines. And whether or not we had used one or whether we thought, they were valuable or now the ones that are out there now knit circular. I did have a knitting machine when the kids were younger, but it was just one of the ones that did back and forth. So you couldn't really knit in the round with it, but it was good for when I was doing the kids' sweaters. Like you could hook the sweater on there, do the whole back if it was all stocking stitch and then just take it off and do your rib down. The new ones, I don't have any idea how they
Sarah
work
has just recently came into the possession of a knitting machine and she just posted a comment. Somebody must have asked her about it.
Okay.
She said she can knit 90 rows in about 5 minutes. So there is something very tempting about that.
So Sarah, is it a circular or is it a straight back and forth?
The straight, yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I remember mine. It was like, I mean, you could whip off the back of a sweater in 5 minutes. Seriously.
Wow.
But then you had to take it off and still do the rib and put it together. But it got you past a lot of that that boring part.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So Joy said that it's a fingering weight yarn that she's holding. So she needs a fingering weight yarn in the silk, the cashmere merino silk blend, undyed, 2-ply, lightly twisted. So if anybody knows where you can get that, let us know. Okay, and then there was another just a comment about short rows and Andrea Mowry method using yarn overs. I've not ever tried it. I'm going to actually look into that before next week.
Okay.
And get back to you. Okay. So, Kelly,
all right.
any questions?
We're a half an hour in.
There was a lot of questions this week.
Yes, and Joy also, Jeannie has mentioned that she's had very good luck on Ravelry to trade, sell, or buy some yarn that you're short on. So you can try that as well. Okay.
Okay. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's move on to what we're wearing.
Well, no. Let's
let's not move on to what we're wearing.
Let's not move on. Let's just stay stuck right here. We've actually got
the prizes for the
yeah.
sock. Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay,
so
let's do that.
Okay. Our monthly sock along came to an end at the end of October. And so the way that we run that is you knit the socks, you enter the socks. We don't care when you started the socks. It all matters when you finish the socks. And at the end of each month, we draw, and we will draw all the way back to the beginning of the year. And we draw for 2 prizes. And the first one is a pattern prize from our friend Natalie Sheldon. And once again, I don't remember her new name. It used to be Remembrances Pottery. Oh gosh, why do we not remember this? It's because she's just Natalie to us. That's why we don't. Okay.
Well, and if it's the same link, when you go in to look at her patterns on Ravelry, it is the same link.
Yes.
So,
but she is the designer of all things Adventy and super cute. And these are, this was her pattern, the cozy quilt socks that I was working on this year. So you can find her in Ravelry. She has lots of sock patterns and also some sweater patterns. And so you will get a code to go in and choose the pattern of your choosing. It's Remembrances by Natalie Sheldon.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah.
We just have to leave the pottery part off.
I know. That's
we
going to be
remember
tricky.
that from now on.
It's tricky. And then our second prize is always a sock yarn prize. So to date, until the end of October, year to date, socks entered. Are you ready for this? 3,374 pairs.
That's amazing.
I'm blown away. I can remember when we were excited to get, I think 2,000 was like a big milestone. When we got to 2,000 pairs of socks, we thought we were, wow.
But we can't enter that in comment picker.
No, we can't. No. So we use random number generator. So here's what we came up with. So we'll do the pattern first, and then I will talk about the yarn before I show you the second prize winner. So the winner for the pattern is Evelyn, who is Evelina Food Queen on Ravelry. And that was random number generator 1565. And those are Noelle heel tab shorty socks that how much I love those socks. And she's added a little twist on them too. She's put a rib in sort of mid-foot so that they hug the foot even better. But honestly, I was wearing some of my heel tab shorties the other day, and those, honestly, I love that pattern. I love that pattern. Okay, so congratulations, Evelyn. And I will show you now the sock yarn that we are giving away tonight. This is so beautiful. This is from our friend Deborah at Yarn Indulgences, and this is her sock marl. Look at this color. It is so beautiful. This color is called Aurora, and this is 400 yards, and it's 80% super wash merino wool and 20% nylon. And the colors in this, look at the beautiful colors in this. It really is beautiful. There's blues in there, a little bit of taupey browns, like lots of colors. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous skein of yarn, generously donated by Deborah. Thank you so much. We will also put a link to Deborah's shop. You should check her out. She has fantastic prices, and her dyeing really is beautiful. Okay, so the winner of that lovely prize is
there we go.
Patty, who is Nana Volvo on Ravelry. Noelle, when this one came up today, I thought, oh, Noelle's going to love these. You love a little lace detail at the ankle. Yes. And Patty was random number 680. So
there you go. So that would have been an earlier pair. So the sooner you get
I think
your
these were in
there,
March. Yes, back in March.
Yes, the more chances you have to win. So very nice.
All right. And what you have to do to collect your prize is
email us at knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. And for a pattern prize, if you've got a Ravelry account, well, actually, I think I've just been giving you a code for your Ravelry account. So if you've got a Ravelry account, you just need to notify us, and I will send you an email with that code in it. And for the physical prize, we need your name, full name, and your mailing address. So,
okay.
So congratulations to our winners. And we still have 2 more months. Like, this is amazing. We still have 2 more months. The number of socks in there is going to be crazy.
And it was really nice too, because so many of the socks that came in at the end of October were all Halloween entries. I was going through them today. They were so pretty, like so colorful. And you can tell that people were just like wanting to get them in there before that Halloween night. It was great. So thank you so much for participating.
I have to say that this year my sock mojo has been.
Yes. Very good. Very good.
So,
okay.
And it's nice to see all that when you go in and look at that, it just makes you even more encouraged to do socks. Like even at like some of the people that we met at Rhinebeck and are saying, oh, I'm doing my first socks. And it's just such a wonderful project to have to take places for, like if you go to the coffee shop, like you said, Kelly, you can stick it in your purse. So you've always kind of got it with you. You could leave a pair in a car so that if you get stuck in traffic and you have to wait for a while, make sure your brake's on, but you can knit while you're waiting for a traffic jam.
Kim has done the knitting math for us. So based on 20 stitches per pair, 400 million stitches that we have knitted this year. That is amazing.
With love.
And swear words.
Not that many swear words.
No.
So
speaking of big numbers, this was kind of a big deal to me, probably to nobody else, maybe to Noelle, hopefully to Noelle. I got a notification from YouTube that we have had 1 million views on our channel now. And I think that's a really big number. I'm very excited about that number.
So. Yeah, well, we have more sock stitches than views.
Absolutely we do, but that's okay. It's a big number.
So, okay. Now we'll go on to what we're wearing.
Okay. Yes. Let's talk about what we're wearing.
Okay. You go first.
Oh, I get to go first. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I was inspired to pull this sweater out tonight because when we were knitting at the coffee shop on Saturday, Joanne actually had on a love note. And I haven't worn my love note in a long time. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to pull this out and put this on tonight. So this is indeed the Love Note by Tin Can Knits. And I knit this sweater. So this was one of my early sweaters. This might have been, it was probably within my first dozen sweaters. So this is a great pattern. If you're looking for something to start with, I highly recommend this. And this goes in all sizes, all the way from like baby sizes right up to adult. And it's an easy pattern to knit, and it's very well explained, and it's just a beautiful sweater to wear. And it's a DK weight, so you can either do a DK or you can do a fingering with a mohair, which is what I did. And I use the Emma's yarn. The one color is Orbit, and it's kind of like a creamy color with some pops of color. That's like the under base of this. And it's in a Hella Hank. So it was 150 grams, which I used right to the very end. And I think I fell short by about a foot, and I had to find another yarn just to finish off my bind off. So, and then I paired it with Emma's yarn, also Marvelous Mohair. And the color of that is Wish You Were Beer. And I've had this sweater for a long time. But I really like it. It definitely has held up. It's a beautiful sweater, and it goes with a lot of things. And it also goes with this pretty little headband that I made. And this headband I had a banner for it too. the Thai Garden headband by Jenny King. And I made this one this summer from yarn that we bought when I was in Chicago. And it is the Koi Goo. I don't know the color name, but it is the KPPPM, a little ball. I think they come in 50-gram balls.
50 gram, yep.
And I still had leftovers. It doesn't use very much. It's actually a crocheted headband. And then you make these little flower motifs that you stitch onto it. And it was just a fun little, like a little weekend project to do. I don't wear it a lot, but it's kind of cute. It's cute to have. It's just a little something different. So that's what I'm wearing.
Okay. I am wearing the Seaborn tee, and this is a pattern by Herb Garden Knitwear. I do have here we go. And I did this past summer, and it is done in 2 yarns. The Drops Belle is the navy, and then the Sand and Scarn Lena is the kind of like chartreusey color that's through here. So I find both yarns are really comparative, like they work well in the same sweater. They're basically the same composition. I think one might have a little bit more yardage than the other, but still in the same sweater, they feel pretty much identical. This was a fun pattern to knit. It's got, I'll take the name down there. It's got a rib, not a rib, like a lacy panel at the bottom. You can kind of see it on the sleeves. I don't know if you can see that. And then it's got it on the bottom too. So it's just, I don't know, really nice. The Belle is the linen viscose cotton blend. So it is really nice. I mean, I don't think I'd wear it in a 90-degree day, but it really is nice for now because it's 20 degrees out. So who thought I'd be wearing it in November? But yeah, and it was a fun pattern to knit. It just took 1 skein of the chartreuse, and then I think I took 5 skeins of the Drops Belle. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of just a nice t-shirt. It's kind of got a bit of a boat neck, and it was a fun knit. And this was a drop shoulder, so I did have to, I believe that actually the pattern called for you to knit the sleeves different than I did. I'm sure I picked up the sleeves and knit down. I think they might have been cast on and knit up, and I didn't want to do that.
Didn't you
because then I grafted it. Yes.
The edging. Yes.
Yes. Yep. Because this edging, I think you had to knit bottom up. So, but I didn't want to knit the sleeve and have to sew it on. So I actually knit it down,
yes,
did this, and then grafted it together. So yeah. But good sweater. This may be the last time I get to wear it for this year, but who knows the way the weather's going. So,
you never know.
Never know. So.
Okay. Before we move on to the next thing, I want to show this. Congratulations.
Oh,
this is
yeah,
fun.
that's awesome.
Yes, Nikki's teenager is here and excited to watch while crocheting. Yes, absolutely. Love to see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any finishes?
I do.
Okay.
Well, I actually have 2, but we can only show 1.
Okay.
How many do you have?
I have 7, but I can only show 5.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, you get started then.
Okay. Okay. So my first one is I was working on the snow globe hat last week by Tin Can Knits. So I did finish it.
It's so cute. The palm is bigger than the hat.
I know, but it's so light. Like it's so light. And I just tied the pom-pom on, right? So it can be taken off if my daughter-in-law needs to wash it. So this is actually the baby size. This is Tin Can Knits, and it did actually go down to newborn. But I thought like a newborn, it like, you know, basically they wear it home from the hospital and that's about it. So I thought I'm at least going to do the baby size. So this is done in Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino. It's the blue tit colorway, which blue tit is a bird. Just going to clarify that. And the pattern on this is just really fun.
It is. It's a great pattern.
And cool to knit. Yes, I really like this pattern. And it does go up to adult. And I had yarn left over. So my second FO is actually these little mitts.
So
to
cute.
go along with it. So I just took, I think I have like 26 stitches. And I just figured out enough so I could have the
one pattern
in the middle. And I've got a picture of the little set together here. Just have to find it.
Oh, I'll look. Did you do stockinette on the back of the mitts?
Yes. There. Yeah. So the back of the mitt is just plain stockinette. There's no thumbs in them because, I mean, you're not going to try to put a thumb in with the baby that small. So I was able to get like two rounds of the pattern in.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 snow globes, I guess. And I still have a little bit of the yarn left. And that was out of one 50-gram cake of the heavy merino by Knitting for Olive. So if you were doing like even a little baby gift, like that's really nice. You can get that out of one skein of yarn. So yeah, so that was cute. So that was 2. So that one's not very big. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Well, no, you have 5. So do one more.
Okay. Okay. So I finished my Lift Me Up mittens. Okay. And this is a pattern by Manon Jolet.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, we had given out some of these patterns because Manon was kind enough to gift us some for the podcast. So here's my
very nice.
Mitts.
Very nice.
And I'll show you, I do have 2. It's a set. So those are done in a yarn that I actually got when we were in Greece, in Corfu. And we ended up this store and I walked in the door and the yarn was called Noelle. So I had to buy it. It's just an acrylic, but the name was Noelle. And this is one, I have a little bit left of 1 50-gram ball.
Yeah.
So the mittens are, again, these would be an amazing gift. You know, they work up quickly. They're kind of a, the actual pattern, I believe, calls for a fingering held with a mohair.
Yes, it does.
So then pretty much any DK weight yarn, or, I mean, they look really nice and they're really nice and soft with a fingering and a mohair together. But yes, those are very nice and always good to have an extra pair of mittens. I think sometimes I should even leave an extra pair of mittens in the car. But You know what, Kelly? I actually have a heated steering wheel now.
There you go. Yay.
And I've actually had to use it a couple of times this year already, first thing in the morning.
I have to say my new, I had a heated steering wheel in my last car, which I absolutely loved. But my new car, the heated steering wheel almost gets too hot to hold.
Oh,
it's quite hot. Yeah. Oh. So maybe it's just new car, you know, maybe it's wearing itself in, but yeah, I like it. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I know when we were in Rhinebeck and Julia was driving my car a bit, she was like, whoa, how do I shut this off? Because it comes on automatically when I start the car, right?
Okay.
So I also have some of those mitts, but mine are in whips and it's another conversation. So we're going to show those in a bit.
Really cute stitch pattern.
It really is.
There's also
a dandelion stitch.
She also has a tutorial linked in her pattern that you can go and watch, and it shows you exactly how to do it. So
yes. And I watched the tutorial and I linked it to my to my Knit Companion, just like you showed us how to do in Rhinebeck. It's like mind blowing. I was like, are you kidding me? For all this time I've been going in and out of that program. It's so much better. But anyway, okay,
you go.
I'll show a finish now. I finished these socks that I know I've had on the knee. I finished one really, really quick, and then I never went back in and I knit the second one. And I said, enough is enough. So this week I dug in and I knit the second sock. I love these socks. These are the, Mystic Waves by Ashley Coons. And it's a really fun pattern. And I knit this using I'm not sure how you say it. It's Felicini, not the Felici yarn, but it's Felicini. So you get these really narrow stripes. And I love this colorway. And then this is called Concession Stand. And then this one is my favorite pink, which is called Dogwood Heather. Now I did make some modifications to the pattern as we do. I changed the heel. I again went with that, the heel flap with the garter border on here as well. I just like the way that looks on a sock. I think it gives it a little something. These are a really cool pattern too. These, this little wave, I'll take one off so you can see the front of it too, because it has a nice detail that splits the foot. These sock blockers are kind of nice, but they are not as nice and slippery. I have to do a little sanding on them as my other ones. So I actually blocked the sock because they do look so much nicer when they're blocked.
Yeah.
But this is the pattern going down the front of the foot. So it's just really, really nice. It's a great pattern. And when you kind of settle yourself into them, they really didn't take that long to knit. It's just, I lost my mojo after the first one because there were like so many other things to do, but I wanted to get back to them because I did really like them. And I know I will enjoy wearing them because these are for me. But also I wanted to say this too, because when I went in today to do the pattern drawings or the sock drawings for the month, somebody on October 31st, and I'm sorry, I can't recall the name, but had finished a pair, I think even in the same colorway. And she named her project, Blame It on Kelly. I thought that was really good. But anyway, it's pretty.
That Filicina yarn too. Tracy did a Musselburgh hat in it, and it looked really good with the small stripes.
Yeah, I have one other color that I bought in this yarn. And I don't know that it's available all the time. I think it's sort of like a special edition, but it's just pretty. It's really pretty. Okay.
Okay, so my next finished object, again, is just a little one, but it's in the Advent theme.
Oh, so nice.
So this is, I do have a banner. It is, I have too many things in here that I need to finish that are still sitting in there because I don't work on them every week. But it is 12 More Days of Baubles, Part 1 by Stacey Lewis. And each of the sections, like the 12 more days, there's 3 different parts to each bauble pattern, and it's got 4 patterns in it. So in this particular one, if you just got this one, I've got a picture of what the baubles, there's different baubles that come in it. I just got to find it.
Minot says, is that Robin by West Yorkshire Spinner?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay, there we go. Here it is. Okay, so in this particular pattern, you can see that one up at the top is just the plain stocking stitch, but then there's also patterns for like a Fair Isle one and for some textured ones and some cabled ones. And they're really cute and they're really fast to make. And this is, in this particular case, this was just leftover Robin that I had from a pair of socks that I made, but it looks so cute because it comes out like you've got a little Fair Isle Christmas ball. So these are going to go with some of the kids. I'm actually got enough yarn to knit one of the baby boys a pair of socks that match this. So that'll be part of their Christmas present, their decoration. And Ross will make me little leather tags to put on them that have the year stamped on it. But they're so much fun. They fit over these little plastic baubles that
How many
I just picked up
plastic balls do you have left?
I still have over 24.
How many did you buy?
I bought 48. Why would you buy 12 if you can buy 48?
That's right. Why? Why at all?
Anyway, but they're so cute and and like I said, we're going to put the little tag, and then like the kids will all have like little ornaments to take with them when they, I thought it was just really cute. The West Yorkshire Spinners works up really nicely in the pattern. So more of those to come, and those could go in like our Advent along. So
very nice.
Okay, and then my last finished object is this little sweater.
So cute. So cute.
This is the Elwood, and I do have a
I'll grab it. You show it.
This is Elwood by Jenny Weeb, and this is done in Barocco vintage. So it's the worsted weight yarn. So Country Yarns here close to us. I went out there last Friday. She was having a sale. I didn't know the sale was on when I got there. Well, then I needed to buy more once I knew that the sale was on. But she had 25%
I didn't even get a phone call.
Off.
I didn't even get a phone call. I didn't even get a phone call when you found out there was a sale.
You told me you have a tub full of Barocco yarn.
I do, but I don't have some of those colors. Actually, anyway. I truly don't. Is that like a rusty red at the top?
It's called chili pepper.
Is that a new color for them?
It might be. So anyway, the colors in this are, the main color is called rye. And then up at the top, there's only one little stripe up at the top. This is chocolate. Yeah. This is chili pepper. This is fennel. And this is
fennel I have.
Caribbean Sea, maybe. It's got the name Caribbean in it. Anyway, this is going to be my next. This is going to be my next go-to sweater pattern. It's just so well written. It's so easy, so fast. I love the detail that she's got here where your collar is 2x2 rib, yet your button bands are all in garter stitch. Very and it just finishes it so nicely. You've got a 2x2 rib down at the bottom. The only adjustments that I made in this pattern, I did not decrease as much in the sleeve because, and mind you, my gauge is probably a little bit tighter. Because I believe that the stitch gauge in the pattern is 18. I believe that I'm getting around 19 and a half, 20 with the, but I like that fabric. This is a 6-month size that I did, but I figure it's really probably about a 3-month size sweater. So
how many sizes, did you say how many sizes does that pattern
It goes up to adult. It goes up to adult.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Because that is a really cute little boy's cardi. I like that.
Now the one that she shows in the, when you look at the pictures, is just 2 colors. Like she's just got 2 color stripes, but you could do this with anything.
And
I even thought, next I think I'm going to start one for Mackenzie, and I've got a skein of the Yarn Therapist, the yoke that changes.
Oh, yes.
And I'm just going to do the top in that, and then the bottom in a solid color. And then if I've got any of the yoke yarn left, I might just embroider a couple of little flowers down at the bottom.
Very nice. Yeah,
and it would also be a really nice base sweater if you wanted to do some embroidering on a sweater. And yeah, it was so much fun, so quick. And I mean, I hardly used any of the colors, right? I think there's none of the colors that use more than 7 or 8 grams. And then I didn't even use 1 full skein of the rye for this size. So I think I might do a little hat to go with that too. For some reason, I really want to do that Manhattan beanie. I don't know why. But it looks so cute with the baby. Yeah. So I might, but anyway, yeah, totally recommend this pattern. So, and like I said, even for like a little boy, like not just a baby, right? Like, and I would wear that. I would love a striped sweater like that for a cardigan.
Yeah,
to put
absolutely.
on with.
It's really nice. I like it a lot. Okay.
Okay. That's it for finishes.
Okay.
I have 3 whips.
All right.
What about you?
I do too. You go ahead.
Okay. Well, my first whip is, I also got this yarn out at Country Yarns. So this is also a West Yorkshire spinner yarn. This color is called Nutcracker. So I don't know if you can see, but it does have sparkle in it.
I was going to say there's something different in there. Yeah.
There's sparkle in it. So this one is for Molly. Like seriously, for Molly, I almost have to knit socks as big as for me now.
I was going to say that looks like a fairly big size sock. Yeah.
No, I think she's like almost like in a size 1, and like in kid sizes, I take a size 3. So her feet are skinnier than mine, but they're long. So anyway, so that sock number 1 is done. And all I did for this is a 2x2 rib. I started at the beginning of a stripe so that I just get that little hint of blue at the top, and then it moves into the other stripe colors. And heel flap and gusset, but on this heel flap and gusset, I just did the slip stitches on the outside and then just got down to the bottom and did a rounded toe. So this is a 52 stitch sock. So sock number 1 done.
Okay. Well, as for whips, what I'm working on this week, you already saw that. This is made some progress. I don't know what I have in my throat tonight. Excuse me for all the clearing. Anyway, so I have this sock for Mike that I'm working on. And
West Yorkshire Spinners.
West Yorkshire Spinners, yes. Gotta love that yarn. Yeah, and I really do. Oh, hey, look.
I really do.
Found the needle.
There's your needle, yay.
See, I put it in there for safekeeping. Now
and is that the bullfinch colorway?
This is bullfinch, yes.
Okay.
But I feel like I don't know. Like I feel like I still have lots of yarn left, but I still have a whole foot to go. I made these longer, a little bit longer than I normally would, plus they're 72 stitches. So
you can do some of these after.
No, I'm worried. Will I have enough? I haven't weighed that. I know I will. It'll be fine.
You'll have enough. That's yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then the next thing that I worked on. Oh no, you go ahead. You've got another one.
Well, my second one is just I started, this isn't the second sock of the first sock. This is another sock. So this one is going to be for Penelope. So the reason that I started hers before I finished Molly's is because when I ended up here, I ended with the green. And of course I have to match. So I didn't want to have to pull off yarn. So I thought, okay, well, I know I'm doing another pair of socks. So I'm going to do this one first.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll end up closer to where to where the start is, so I don't pull off as much yarn. Because this sock, it took 23 grams for her first sock. So anyways, Penelope's are only a 48 stitch sock. So again, I started off just at the color. So this time I'm on the green, and I just did a 2x2 rib, and now I'm just doing, it'll be basically the same as those. So the kids for Christmas are all kind of going to get West Yorkshire spinner socks in the Christmas colorways.
Those are pretty ones. So, do you have that? What is it called? Starry Starry Night, the blue one with the sparkle? Yes. It's really pretty. That's pretty.
I'm not doing the boys in sparkle though.
No.
So the boys will be like this.
Yes, there are boys now, aren't there?
The boys will be like this, and then I've got another one. I can't remember the name of it, but I've got another Christmas one in that's not sparkly.
Okay. So then my next whip is my Alpenglow sweater. So I'm still working away at this. I feel like I had set for myself, I had planned to finish this, not finish the sweater, but finish the body of the sweater and have the ribbing and have that to show this week. But I don't. And I guess I have nobody to blame for that. If you don't knit on it, it's not going to get done, right? So yes,
I've tried that. I have things from years ago and they're still sitting there.
I know, right? But anyway, I mean, I'm getting there on it. I do really love this sweater though. I love the way it feels. I love the way it's working up.
Yeah, it looks good.
Can't wait to get it finished so that I can wear it. Of course, I do have to make a dress to go with it that I want to make. So anyway, maybe by Sunday, there'll be ribbing done on this. Who knows? But anyway, it's a lovely pattern, and I'm using the Patagonia is the anthracite, the dark color, and then my light colors are by Gillen, and I don't have ball bands. In fact, I don't even have one of the yarns. This is one of them. This is what I'm using. I think in the pattern she showed it using like one of the spin cycle yarns, but I think there's enough variation in that yarn that it really shows off nicely. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it looks good.
So okay. All right. What else?
Okay. Well, it turned to November, so that meant I had to start
another pair of socks.
My next Lord of the Rings sock. So I showed it to you last week. This is the Weathertop sock. It's a pattern by Claire Ellen, and I do have a picture. There we go. So it's quite cabley.
Quite cabley.
But it is fun. I told you, I'm really having fun with these socks this year, and I already have the first one done.
Yay. Oh my gosh, that's super fast.
So there's I'm going to have to take a picture because you can see it, but it's kind of holding it up to the camera. It's a little harder to see the design, but it does go down the front of the foot, which was really cool.
That looks great. I love that.
There you go. And you can kind of see the pattern crosses. But I love this yarn is Firefly Haven. So that was Pam, who works at Little Red Mitten.
Yep.
And this color is called Pumpkin Spice Latte. So it's got a 1x1 rib at the top, and then you go directly into the cable pattern. And it's got, I don't know, it was just fun.
It is. It's really pretty.
So hopefully, I know I'll have those finished by the end of November. But like I said, I got the first one done, and now it's like, I want to cast on this, and I want to cast on this.
I know.
So
Castonitis.
Anyway, definitely having fun with those. So after this pair, the only pair left to do in the adult sizes is mine. And I didn't get my pair last year because those are the ones that didn't get done. I am getting my pair this year.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Julia's asking if I can show the material for my dress. I can't, Julia, because I'm attached to my computer and it's over on the table, but I promise I actually will. I'll bring it for the Sunday show this week so that you can see it. And Amanda is asking, do I make hinterland dresses to wear in the winter? And if so, what fabric? I wear my linen dresses all year long, Amanda. They get paired up with winter tights and boots, or even a pair of leggings underneath. So I do. I put my sweaters over top and I wear the hinterlands all year. So, okay. So the last thing that I have as a whip, I have a fail, and then I have a whip, and it's all the same pattern. And I almost feel really bad that Manoa is in here because now she's going to see it and it's her pattern. Okay, so I knew better. I knew better before I started this, but still, you know, I could hear Stephanie Pearl McPhee in my head
Yeah,
going, no,
you
you
can
got
do it.
this. You're a good knitter. It'll work out. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. So this is going to become the project that it's so nice I've knit it twice. Hopefully not thrice, just twice. So I had this mohair left over and I had a yarn. And I love these two yarns together. I think these look really pretty together. I knew that wasn't going to work. I just knew it. But my inner voice said it would work. So I started and I knew it wasn't working. It's not so bad if it's just stockinette. It's not so bad at all. But it completely obliterates Minot's beautiful pattern. Like, I just can't see the pattern. And I have to say, it's actually showing up better on camera than it was in person. But it's just, there's no way that I was doing justice to this pattern with these two bold color changes. It needs to be the same color. But I wanted something dark. I didn't want a light color. I wanted a dark color. So there's what I have done. And I'm actually making fingerless mitts too. I decided to make the fingerless mittens because that's what I wear a lot of. That's what I like to drive in and whatnot. So I was super close to finishing because, you know, even though I knew it wasn't working out,
I think it looks okay.
It actually, I don't know. It looks better on camera than it does in person. In person, you can't even see that beautiful pattern. And anyway, so back to the drawing board. Finally admitted defeat on this one, but I wanted to show this to you because I think it's important sometimes to show, I think it's important to show our missteps as well as it is to celebrate our finishes. And I didn't want to just tear this out and not talk about it. Like I said, and this may be completely fine. Somebody might look at this and thinks it looks great, but I do not. I wanted it. I had a certain thing in my head of how it was going to look, and this is not it. So that is coming apart. I still wanted something dark. I wanted something dark, and I wasn't going to give up on that dream. So I dug into some stash. I don't even know if this is going to be better, but I already think it is. So I found something dark. I have dark.
That's
I have,
nice,
yeah, it's really pretty. And this is the Akara yarns. I don't remember the colorway. And then this is some of the kid silk mohair. But I think really the secret to this pattern is coming up with, if you're going to do a yarn held with a mohair, is to come up with something two that are very similar. And so here's where I'm at on this one. I'm just a little shy of where I was on the other one, but I will show this to you because this one I've left my needle in a weird spot. Must have run off to the bathroom or something. Sorry about that. Here, get it to the front so you can see the pattern. There, look at that. Isn't that much prettier? That's really showing up nicely. You can really see the pattern. I'm happy with that. So again, I'm doing the fingerless mitts, but it is such a pretty pattern. So I encourage you, if you don't have this pattern yet, this is the Lift Me Up Mittens by Minot Drolet. And
there is
I was going to say
a full mitten, yes.
I'm just going to pull it up on
the fingerless
screen. There we are. Yeah. And Minot was lovely enough to donate some patterns to us. So here's the thing. Out of the ones that she donated, I still think I have 2 pattern copies left. So when I finish these, which should be by Sunday, I mean, let's be fair, I should have these done by Sunday. So when I am finished these, and these are in FO, and Kelly is finally happy with what she has knit, then we will give away the other 2 patterns on that show, whenever that show happens to be, hopefully on Sunday. But it is really quick. I mean, I did knit both of these this afternoon. So it is a really quick pattern, and I encourage you to check it out. It's really well written. And this little dandelion stitch that she has, it's quite fun. It is. It's a fun little stitch to do. So here we go. Okay. So that's my whips.
Okay. That's it for me. Well, that's it as far as anything I've worked on.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I have other whips, but to be fair, what have I worked on? Yes.
I'm trying to bring the whip pile down.
I know, me too. But the thing is, you know, I don't know. There's just more things that I want to make, right?
Well, I'm doing more baby sweaters now. Now I think I should make all the kids a sweater for Christmas. I mean, I have 2 months.
I have 2 months. It's 2 months. Yeah, it's just a little time. You know,
and the rest of the socks and the and the baubles. No
And
problem.
the baubles. Yeah, no problem. None at all.
So.
Okay.
Did you buy anything?
Well, I did a little shopping through Sarah. I have just one skein. Did you? Have you got something?
Well, I showed you what I already started using it, like that little sweater. I bought all the vintage yarn for the little sweater and this for the socks. So
okay. And what I have is just one single skein. Last week, no, 2 weekends ago, Full Moon Fibers was having a trunk show at Little Red Mitten, and I was not able to go. I had plans that weekend. So Sarah was there, and she was kind enough to agree to do a little shopping for me. So I had been wanting this when I was at Kawartha, and they sold the last skein. So they happened to have one skein there, and this is called Boo Barn. And I just love this color. Like, I know it's a little bit like a Halloween-y color, but it's got so many things going on. And honestly, Jessica and Allison do the best, like sprinkles and sparkles. I just think they look so good. So this is Boo Barn by Full Moon Fibers. Okay. And that's it. That's all she wrote.
So, okay. And we do have knit-alongs going on.
Yeah, I'll go grab those.
Okay. So we talked about the sock knit-along earlier. So we've got 2 months left. So there will be like a prizes at the end of November. There'll be prizes at the end of December, but then we'll also have a grand prize. We'll go in and look back to the beginning of the year for a grand prize winner. And then we've got our Advent along. And that's what I'm doing all of my Lord of the Rings socks for. And Kelly's doing her quilt block socks. Is that what they are, those ones?
Cozy quilts, yep.
Yeah. So for that, it's to encourage you to be doing some of your things that you want done for December, but to be getting organized and doing them ahead of time. And I must say, for me, this is probably the first year where I've got the most pairs of socks done before December.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So it was.
I don't even think I'll hear anything from you about how, Kelly, remind me again why I did this. I think you're in great shape.
I have loved doing these socks. And I think that the big thing was, in the past, I've always done socks that were very similar. And this time, each pattern is so different that it just keeps the interest up. So it's been a lot of fun doing them.
Yeah.
So for your Advent along, you're just kind of working on something bit by bit so that when it comes to December, you have more time to pile other things onto your plate that you want to get done. It's actually supposed to leave stress. In my case, I know that won't happen. I will just say, I can knit 7 sweaters before. But that is the purpose, so that you get things done ahead of time. We know a lot of people have Advent calendars that they get and don't necessarily knit at the time that they get them. So you might be knitting an Advent calendar from a previous year. There's lots of patterns out there to incorporate Advent sets. Yes. So we're looking forward to the finished object thread for that. Will open at the beginning of December, and we're looking forward to seeing what everybody's finished for.
Or you could knit
ahead of time.
You could knit 48 baubles.
Yep, you could. You could. or 2 or 3 or 4.
You could decorate an entire tree. Absolutely.
So okay. And then
the third one that we have going on is the Unselfish Knitter Makealong. And when I was in there today doing the draw, I had a peek in there. Can I just say that some people, some very lucky people, are getting some very beautiful gifts. So the idea behind this one is to make something that you are giving away. So it's an intentional gift away. And there are, this is running from October 1st until December 31st of this year. And the only requirement is that it has to be a minimum of 50 grams.
Yeah.
And there
was a question before about whips. Whips are okay as long as when at the start of the quarter, October. Okay, as long as it was less than 50% complete.
Right.
I think that's a good
yeah.
Because you may have started on gifts for others earlier, so.
Yeah. What, you wouldn't have waited until the end of the year to start?
Some people are actually organized, Kelly. Usually I'm the one in December going, I have 20 pairs of socks to knit.
I know. Well, the whole idea behind this is that we get our unselfish knitting out of the way, because here's the thing, friends, on January 1st, we're going to be selfish knitters and we're going to cast on something entirely for ourselves, or Christmas Eve, whatever your thing is. Some people like to do a Christmas Eve cast on. Some people do a New Year's Day cast on. I'm probably going to do one of each. I'm not lying. So yes. And a lot of my knitting is selfish. I do like to give knitting away, but I think it's okay to be selfish sometimes. You know, it's our time. It's something that we put into it, and we should be able to enjoy it, but it is nice to give it away as well. And it doesn't just have to be knitting. I called it the unselfish knitter, but that doesn't mean it's restricted to knitting. As always, you can crochet. It's including all of your making. So whatever it is, whether you want to weave something, crochet it, if you can do something else with your hands and make it, happy to see pictures in there in Ravelry, and that's lovely as well. So,
okay. I think that's it for this week.
I think that's it.
So you and I have to get busy and knit, because we've only got 5 days before we have to do this.
I know. Well, like I said, we did we did do a test knit project this week too, and we both finished. And so that did take up some time too. But yes, I will definitely get something finished for Sunday, and probably a couple of other things cast on, because as I mentioned, we're leaving on Monday for some warmer weather. So I definitely have to cast on some things that are beach knitting, or just, you know, some plain knitting that I can do. So smaller projects, and just something that I'm okay knitting in warmer weather.
Maybe I might just buy a whole bunch of things that I can show that on Sunday. Forget the knitting. Maybe that'll just be a buying week. Maybe.
All right.
Okay. So, thank you everybody for joining us. It's been fun sharing for the past while, and we do really look forward to Tuesday nights. But remember, for the next 3 weeks, it's not going to be Tuesday night. It's going to be Sunday night. And who knows, maybe we'll have some more people that are able to join us on a different night of the week. So
yes, maybe.
Maybe. So, but take care, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you next week. Or no, we will see you Sunday.
We will see you Sunday.
I guess that is next week, but we will see you Sunday. So happy knitting.